The sound of one hand. What is Zen? What is Satori? What is a Koan? When you clap your hands together, you can naturally hear a sound, right? That's the physical sound perceived by the ordinary ear. But can you hear the sound of one hand? In the ancient Zen text Blue Cliff Record, there's a famous koan. During Japan's Edo period, Zen master Hakuin 1686 to 1769, asked his student, Master Gasan, listen to the sound of one hand. At the time, Gasan was deeply learned in Buddhist scriptures and concepts, but these very concepts had become his prison, keeping him from a true awakening. In Zen, the essence is not to understand with logic and words, but to experience direct insight, or satori, to see into one's true nature, transforming the mind itself. For 4 years, Gasan stayed by Hakuin's side, meditating daily on the question of the sound of one hand. Finally, when thinking could take him no further, he let go of attachment and awakened. At first glance, Hakuin's question sounds absurd and paradoxical. But the purpose of a koan is precisely this: to break our reliance on logic and force us beyond the prison of words and concepts into direct intuitive realization. So after those 4 years, what did Gasan finally realize? According to Zen master Ihiro, this insight can be seen in 3 layers. First layer, discovering there was never a problem to solve. Enlightenment isn't about finding the answer. Instead, it's about realizing there was no real problem to begin with. Sound and silence are not separate. They're 2 sides of the same reality. It is our dualistic thinking and discriminating mind that creates the obstacle. You might ask, so what? Why does that matter? Let's go deeper. Second layer, beyond subject and object, experiencing the true mind. What Gasan ultimately heard was not an external sound, but the insight that both listener and sound are empty. This is the Zen phrase, forgetting both subject and object. The true mind doesn't cling to a listener and a thing being listened to. Just like in quantum physics, where fluctuations in the vacuum spontaneously create particle-antiparticle pairs that quickly annihilate, Buddhism and quantum mechanics resonate deeply here. And you might ask again, but what's the practical point? When we experience this selfless true mind, we gain a clear, joyful awareness. Over time, this leads to greater emotional stability, inner freedom, and independence from external circumstances. This is the core value of Zen. Even if we achieve worldly success, without this realization, our minds can still remain restless and unsatisfied. Third layer, awareness beyond the senses. In the end, Gasan realized that by relying on the selfless, unattached true mind, we don't actually need the physical ears or any of the 6 senses to be aware of all things. This is what Zen calls turning the hearing inward to hear your own true nature. You might still wonder, how is that even possible? Here's an experiment. Set a phone alarm, then sit quietly in meditation with your eyes closed. When the alarm sounds and then fades back into silence, ask yourself, which eye heard the alarm and which eye is aware of the silence afterward? Notice carefully the awareness that perceives both the sound and its absence, that constant luminous presence, is your true mind. If you can truly experience what Zen calls seeing your true nature and feel the quiet joy of awakening, that is Satori, the very state countless practitioners have sought for over 2,000 years. Today, understanding the supporting neuroscience can actually make it easier to reach. There's no need to rush or force it. Gently explore Zen koans. Combine them with meditation. Let everything go. And sometimes, quite unexpectedly, Satori may come. It may sound abstract, but the essence of Zen isn't about words and theories. It's about direct practice and real experience, supported by neuroscience. Modern research backs this up. At Kyoto University, brain imaging studies of experienced Zen meditators working with koans, like the sound of one hand, show that in moments of Satori, the brain's default mode network, DMN, is suppressed. New pathways open between the prefrontal cortex and sensory regions, reshaping the brain's functional connections. This reflects what Zen describes as pointing directly to the mind and realizing the original empty nature of self. After Satori, living with Samadhi, what changes after awakening? You still eat meals, you still walk the road. But after Satori, the true mind, the real self, the person of no rank, no longer clings to eating and walking, nor relies on the six senses. In other words, the real point isn't who is eating or who is walking, but the fact that after awakening, what emerges is a non-abiding true mind, unattached awareness, deathless luminous spirit, the reality beyond the five aggregates, the presence beyond roles and identities. In the words of ancient masters, the person of no rank, the non-abiding true mind, the Tao heart. This very mind is Buddha. Beyond the five aggregates, skandhas, because they are mental constructs built by the observing brain. Unattached awareness. Awareness that sees all phenomena without needing the six senses. This is turning the hearing inward. In daily life, it becomes simple. Just keep this non-self, true mind's awareness alive, maintain direct insight, and rest in Samadhi. Then, whatever you do, walking, sitting, standing, lying down, can all be Zen. Feel closer to awakening? If not, don't worry. Satori comes when the mind is ready. Keep learning and letting go. It may come in a flash. For real Zen wisdom, subscribe to True Koan Neo Zen,